Well, ladies and gentlemen, the Kansas City Chiefs are broken. But they're not nearly as broken compared to other teams that just can't seem to get it right every season. This season, the Kansas City Chiefs have lost it. Literally. Like most good things in life, those things eventually come to an end. And that's what it's feeling like with the current state of the Chiefs. The Chiefs are 6-7 and having the worst season since 2012. This will also be the first time the Chiefs will not be crowned in the AFC West division since 2016. It's not so much about the Chiefs going through the Super Bowl hangover phase because they're not. They're not even bothered by it. They lost to the Tampa Bay Buccaneers in a blowout in Super Bowl 55 years ago, and they were back in the Super Bowl 2 years later. The fact is that the rest of the NFL have now found numerous ways to defeat the Chiefs based on the small, intricate details based on the film of the Chiefs for the last 7 years, especially when it comes to the superstar in Patrick Mahomes. And Andy Reid's mastermind when it comes to this offensive scheme that he has had since he became the Chiefs head coach. For years, when Andy Reid became head coach, the Chiefs were unstoppable, no matter if they were going against teams that were at their level or below their level. The Chiefs were always available to take on anyone. With Andy Reid being the mastermind at creating offensive schemes that fit his quarterback and skill players, Patrick Mahomes, for the most part, since becoming the starting quarterback, was a walking cheat code to the point where he was untouchable and being good at avoiding getting hit or sacked by opposing defenders and defenses. On the defensive side of the ball, their defense had been consistently ranked at the top since Steve Spagnuolo became Chiefs defensive coordinator in 2019. When the Chiefs defense take the field, they do whatever it takes to get the ball back into Mahomes' hand. To date, the Patrick Mahomes-Andy Reid tandem was great enough for them to make 5 Super Bowl appearances and won 3 Super Bowls in this time span. In this decade alone, the Kansas City Chiefs had made 5 Super Bowl appearances and won 3 of those. Everything was going great until it wasn't. Fast forward to the 2025 NFL season, shortly after the loss to the Philadelphia Eagles in Super Bowl 59. Everything is crumbling down to the Chiefs. And we're all asking the exact same question. What has happened? If you look at it from another team's standpoint, or from another coach's standpoint, considering that there is enough tape for the Chiefs dynasty from 2018 up until this point, the rest of the NFL took it into consideration to study the Chiefs and what are the strengths and weaknesses on that team. Or even better yet, cracking the code at getting after Mahomes. Maybe this is the unofficial start of it. But I believe, and most believe, that the Super Bowl 59 loss to the Philadelphia Eagles was the starting point of the downfall of the Kansas City Chiefs. The Philadelphia Eagles defensive strategy in Super Bowl 59 against the Chiefs marketed as the blueprint for NFL defenses and defensive coordinators alike, as Vic Fangio, for the most part, ran the same coverage in different variations. I'm talking about none other than quarters coverage, when you have 4 deep defenders and 3 underneath defenders, in which this coverage is very versatile because not only it can stop against the run or against the pass, but it also has man-match principles to go along with it. It is marketed as one of the most versatile coverages in modern football history. Also during that game, since Mahomes was really good at against the blitz, the Philadelphia Eagles instead used simulated pressures to get after Mahomes, and it worked for the most part. And NFL defenses this season decided not to blitz against Mahomes and started to use simulated pressures, and it has worked for much of the time being. Defenses have also made it uncomfortable for Mahomes to stay in the pocket and also force Mahomes to get the ball out quicker than usual, as Mahomes would then create turnovers from disguises and confusion from exotic defensive coverages of other teams. Kelsey gets blanketed, Pacheco goes nowhere, and other skill players are clamped down, as Andy Reid's scheme is getting busted as the code has finally been cracked. Also, for years, it has been rumored that all this time, during their dynasty, that many people have suspected that the officials were doing anything in their power to get the Chiefs into the Super Bowl. Something similar of sort with the New England Patriots. Sadly, not this year, as the officials are calling the games as they see it. If Mahomes go down with a sack, he gets sacked. If he creates a turnover, he creates a turnover. If he gets penalized, he gets penalized. Nothing's going against their way this year. Not today. Not this season. Okay, let's go ahead and wrap this up. The Chiefs dynasty was fun while it lasted. Now the Chiefs will have to go back to the drawing board as they have lost it. The Chiefs were the new Patriots, as everything were going their way at any which way that's possible. Now that's done and gone. The Chiefs are 6-7. 6-7. But they're still in the AFC playoff picture on the outside looking in. But they're further down the hunt. Their best attempts to save their season is to get an ounce of luck and at least make it to the AFC wildcard at that. If there are any ships within the AFC, of course, when it comes to the playoff picture. Other than that, this dynasty that they've had over the last 7 years, it's over. In the offseason, there's going to be a lot of questions that are waiting to be answered with the future of this very Chiefs team. What if this is Travis Kelce's last season with the Chiefs? Could Travis Kelce call it a career after this season? As far as the coaching staff go, Andy Reid could very well clean house with his coaching staff, as he could cut ties with both offensive coordinator Matt Nagy, who was then Bears head coach, and could cut ties with defensive coordinator Steve Spagnuolo, in which Steve Spagnuolo has been their defensive coordinator since 2019. If Travis Kelce retires, and if Patrick Mahomes stays, of course he is going to stay because he is the face of that organization. If Travis Kelce decides to call it a career, when it comes to skill players, what will be Mahomes' go-to target now? Rashee Rice? Juju Smith-Schuster? Hollywood Brown? Isaiah Pacheco, get him in the passing game, using him as a receiving running back? There's just so much things to go around with their offense. They can move some pieces around and make an offense, and Andy Reid might have to revitalize it if Travis Kelce decides to retire. But even then, what if Andy Reid decides to call it a career? There's going to be a lot of things going on in Kansas City for these next couple of months going into the next season. That's going to be it for this NFL edition of the Eli Speaks Show. Let me know what you guys think about my take about the Kansas City Chiefs losing it and could start over from scratch. There's a lot of things that the Chiefs have to reconsider, considering how the way the season's going for them right now, considering the fact that they're 6-7 and they're in the hunt, further down the hunt in the AFC playoff picture, as there's no coming back because they're pretty much, like I said, on the outside looking in. And as always, please like, comment, share, subscribe, and thanks for listening.